Alertwolf here, bringing another review. This time, this is of Sword Art Online, episode 25, The World Seed. And this is the last episode of Sword Art Online. And this is basically just to wrap things up. This is just an ending episode. Sorry about that. And the episode starts off where the last one left off. Kirito is rushing to Asuna's side on the bicycle. He gets to the parking lot of the private hospital area where he gets jumped from Oberon there. Oberon. Now, what's funny to me is the Fairy King in the real world, honestly, I thought he died. I mean, I said it last review. I thought he turned off all the safeties and this guy died. And because he killed this motherfucker. So I thought he was dead. The fact that he was still alive, but when you saw him, was very fucked up. Like, he was still in pain. He had, like, veins sticking out of his eyes. He was almost blind in one eye. You know, he's not well at all. So he jumps Kirito with a Rambo-looking knife, like an army utility knife, cuts him in the arm and in the face. They struggle. For a second, it's just like the scene. The video game, he's kicking him when he's down. He's like, and he's looking at the way he's attacking. He's like, this dude is just like the way he is in the video game. Like, he's fucking weak. He's just lame. So he strips the knife from him and he gets him like this, and he's gonna slit his throat and kill him. And what's flashing through his head, all the evil shit this guy's done to Asuna, and he's just gonna kill this motherfucker. And then he gets him, and you start to see his throat's about to be slit, and he changes his mind. He's like, you're not worth it, because the dude's fucking crying and bawling, and he's like, you know, he's like, you're not even worth it. So he just let him go and kept going. He goes to Asuna's room. Now there were some flashes as he was on the way to make you think maybe Asuna didn't make it because the monitors went off, but she's awake and she could barely hear him. But you know, the tears come down. They hug each other. She notices he's injured, and he's like, it's over. They hug it out, and they kiss, and all that. Then a couple of weeks go by. They show you Kirito is in class. The class for you know, all the people from Sword Art Online, and you know, he meets Asuna outside of the classroom. They're talking, and they're supposed. I guess they were supposed to like take a break from each other. I don't know. And he's like, oh, you don't have to call me Kirito anymore. And you know, he went to hold her hand. She's like, oh, that's gonna cost you lunch. So, you know, and some of the other characters from the game, the female characters, are jealous of those two together because, you know, they had a thing for Kirito. And then you mention Asuna mentions, and Kirito mentions what happens to Fallout. So Asuna's dad retires from being CEO of the company. The game is Alfheim Online goes down. Almost all the MMO industry goes down. What's his face was arrested in the parking lot. He denies everything, but after a couple of people were questioned, he breaks down, and you know, the moment things don't go his way, he breaks down and confesses. You know, so a lot of things were put under public scrutiny. Somebody took over Alfheim Online, another company, so that the game is still slightly going. And what happens is now he goes, they all, including Sugo, yeah. Sugo, there we go. I never pronounced her name right, but they all go to the tavern, and they have that celebration party with Asuna and all the survivors, everybody that was cool and Sword Art Online. Two of the characters got married. He congratulates. He asked for some bourbon and got like an iced tea, you know, because he's too young for the beer, or for the alcohol, or for the bourbon, not the beer. But so you know, it's all funny. They're having a good time. They're checking on the World Seed, and apparently what the World Seed is the ability to create your own MMO, but it's like freeware. So it's been spreading across. They've been spreading it across the net, and basically anybody can create their own game out of this freeware. And all sorts of games have been coming up, including Alpheim, including things. And it's gotten to the point now where you could take one character from one game and just bring it over to the other game. And, you know, Lifa was feeling out of place at the party because obviously she didn't know those people, even though she's an Alpheim girl. You know, they're all Sword Art Online guys, and they're talking about different things, and everybody was there, which was cool. So they're like, we're meeting at that spot at 11, right? They're like, yeah. So then the next thing you see is Lifa, as Lifa in the game, is trying to fly to the moon, and she can't do it because she runs out of time. Kirito catches her, and he's like, come on, you know, blah, blah. You know, he's trying to cheer her up. She's like, you're always too far away from me. You know, he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, come here, let me show you something. So he comes here, and you look, and right next to the world trees, the castle from Sword Art Online appears in Alpheim Online. And he's like, you know, she's like, what's this doing here? He's like, well, you know, I never did beat the game the right way. So, and my level's been reset. I'm back to, like, nothing. You know, if you want to come with me, I want to clear all the 100 dungeons. You know, this was a great game. And she's like, yeah, and she looks happy. And then everybody from Sword Art Online shows up. They're like, come on, Kirito, we're going to leave you. Then all the all-stars from Alfheim Online, including the two chick heads of the guild and the dude head of the red guild, or not guild, race, that Kirito had that fight with, that strong-ass player, they're all like, let's do this. And so they with wings, they fly to the Sword Art Online area. And, you know, interestingly enough, honestly, I did not see Asuna in that pack of people, even though they discussed going, so that's weird. Maybe I missed it. And that's how they end it. And they're like, Sword Art Online comes out because they start flying towards everything. And honestly, and Yui's right there, and honestly, I love the ending. I mean, I don't know. See, to the people that read the light novel and said that the light novel was better, you're probably right. Not every adaptation can be perfect. But for me, I personally love Sword Art Online. Now, I've heard the criticisms about the villains. You know, one's like a hentai villain, and the other villain didn't know what he was doing, and was he really a villain? And let me explain. I get it, because we're going to get into the breakdown. Now, as far as this episode goes, for me, it's a 4 out of 5. You know, it's not a 5. It wasn't an epic episode, but it was a good ending. And I thought it was great to see everything together and come full circle, and the fact that everybody can have their game now. And there's hundreds of worlds now appearing, which is great to me. So they've really done well with that World C. And they revitalized the MMO industry. But as far as the series as a whole goes, alright, the two villains in the game. Oh, and they mentioned out how the creator of the game did die, may have committed suicide, but copied his consciences onto something. And Kirito's like, I did meet it, so it does exist. But honestly, people, again, look, the villain saying he didn't know why he did it anymore, this is what happened. And I'm going to explain him so people understand his goal. He had a vision for the future. He had a vision to see exactly what this augmented reality is capable of. You know, again, he was trying to create a Neo to show the power of human potential and expand people's consciousness. So what happened was, he devised this game, and he was an idealist. He wanted to see his theories through. And so he created a life and death, real life struggle to see how humanity could do, and to see if he could get like a Neo type of character to exist. And so the reason why at the end he says he forgot why he even did this is because he trapped himself in the game as well. So he was there for the 2 years as everybody else was. And if you notice, his character was the shield. So he had an indestructible shield, and he took the brunt of most of the damage to lessen the effects of fighting the bosses. So he was definitely his methods were wrong, but he wasn't necessarily a true villain. And again, he said he forgot why he did it because he lost himself in the world that he created. And he had to play his role when he was called out as the boss, the last boss. And he was happy when Kirito beat him because he expected it was going to be Kirito the entire time. Well, not the entire time, once things started getting rolling, you know? And that was his goal. So his goal was way down in humanity's future, and he needed, this is the only way he could achieve this, he felt, because he needed live test subjects, basically. The difference is, now, Oberon here, he was like a hentai villain, straight up hentai villain. He wanted to create he wanted to use this for a military way, whereas the other villain in the first half of the season, the creator, he wanted to use this to expand human consciousness, right? And as one of my phone rings, but we'll just ignore the ringing. But to expand human consciousness, whereas the other villain, the hentai villain, not only did he have characteristics of a rapist, a hentai villain with blackmail, the whole bit, right? His goal was to create military application software to brainwash people, and he wanted to do live human experimentation too. So he kidnapped 300, and I was wrong. I thought it was the people from the class of Sword Art Online. It wasn't. He just 300 people didn't wake up along with Asuna that he held captive to experiment on, and they didn't remember anything either. So those were his goals. The fact that, yes, the creator of the game was nasty in the game. This guy was a coward. Most rapists are cowards, and that's who he is. So he's a Weasley coward. To me, he's a villain. He sucks as a human being, and I didn't like him at all. I didn't feel sorry for him at all. But he was still a villain. I mean, I guess if you wanted somebody who could be a match for Kirito, that he wasn't. But this guy was never meant to be that. So I still enjoyed it. The whole series, perfect blend of drama, action, romance, suspense, mystery, sci-fi, fantasy, even a little bit of horror at times. So I think this had great elements, and I'm gonna give the series a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, the pacing was off, especially in the beginning of Sword Art Online. And yes, the beginning of Sword Art Online was better than the end of Sword Art Online, with the suspense and the different range of emotions you felt. But the end of Sword Art Online had epic battles. It had the mystery of will they or won't they, and it had a classic save the princess scenario with a few twists. So, you know, I loved it. So, all right, well, that's it. I thank you for watching all my Sword Art Onlines. I know I didn't put out. I should have done the show a lot sooner. And this is alertwolf saying, click it up if you like it, comment if you must, and subscribe if you can. I'm out.